School meals are critical to student health and well-being and ensure that students have the nutrition they need throughout the day to learn. Research shows that students who participate in the school meal programs consume more whole grains, milk, fruits, and vegetables during meal times and have better overall diet quality. Most people are familiar with the federally assisted National School Lunch and Breakfast programs. The NC Department of Public Instruction works with schools and community partners to offer additional federally assisted programs in North Carolina that provide meals and snacks to children. The Special Milk Program provides milk to children in schools and child care institutions who do not participate in other federal meal service programs. This may apply to pre-K or child care. The Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program provides free fresh fruit and vegetable snacks to children at eligible elementary schools during the school day, outside of breakfast and lunch. The after-school snack component of the National School Lunch Program provides reimbursement to school food authorities to provide nutritious snacks to children enrolled in educational and enrichment activities after school. The At-Risk Supper Program, in conjunction with the Child and Adult Care Food Program, administered by the NC Department of Health and Human Services, provides reimbursement to schools for providing nutritionally balanced supper meals to students. Eligible programs must offer educational enrichment for children and have 50% or more of the enrolled students qualifying for free or reduced price meals. Through summer nutrition programs, schools and community organizations can help to ensure no child goes hungry when school is out. This can be during the summer or anytime school is not in session, for example due to weather or public health emergencies. Congress establishes child nutrition programs, appropriates funding, and sets overall statutes that govern the programs. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, or USDA, develops regulations to implement the laws set forth by Congress. USDA administers child nutrition programs at the national level. Regional staff coordinate with state agencies to administer child nutrition programs. State agencies oversee child nutrition programs at the state level. State agencies work with school districts, child care agencies, and community organizations as school food authorities, or SFAs, to implement programs throughout states. Public, federal, charter, and private schools can operate school nutrition programs. The headquarters for USDA in Washington, D.C. analyzes legislation, writes regulations according to that legislation set forth by Congress, develops national policy, conducts trainings for state agencies, develops guidance, provides reimbursements and commodity foods to state agencies and subsequently to local school food authorities, and creates educational materials and resources. Regional offices implement the regulations set forth by USDA. They offer technical assistance and program oversight to state agencies, and they perform management evaluations. State agencies handle the administration at the state level of the programs. They provide technical assistance, offer training, they also develop and disseminate resources, and conduct administrative reviews. The local school food authorities are the governing bodies responsible for the administration of one or more schools. They have the legal authority to operate a school nutrition program at the local level. Though school food service began earlier, the major milestone, and one most recognized, came in 1946 when President Truman signed the National School Lunch Act. The act authorized the formation of the National School Lunch Program. The legislation came in response to claims that many American men had been rejected for World War II military service because of diet-related health problems. The federally assisted meal program was established as a measure of national security to safeguard the health and well-being of the nation's children and to encourage the domestic consumption of nutritious agricultural commodities. The Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program, Child and Adult Care Food Program, and Summer Food Service Program all come under the National School Lunch Act. 20 years later, in 1966, President Johnson signed the Child Nutrition Act. The act established the school breakfast program. The special milk program is also included in this act. President Johnson remarked during the signing of the act that good nutrition is essential to good learning. The local school food authority, or SFA, has to maintain a nonprofit food service operation. Any revenues from reimbursement, competitive food sales, and any additional funding from the state or local level must balance out with expenditures for food, labor, equipment, transport of food, utilities, staff training, and indirect costs. The SFA has to count the number of free, reduced price, and paid reimbursable meals served. Reimbursable meals are priced as units. Reimbursement rates are set annually by USDA. Federal reimbursement received is used to cover all school nutrition program expenses. School nutrition programs are advised to allocate resources as follows: 40% for food, 40% for labor, and 20% for equipment and other direct or indirect costs. A chart showing the range of reimbursement rates is provided in the NC Junior Chef Competition Guidelines. Based on the current rates, the maximum reimbursement per free meal range is $3.35 to $3.75. If 40% is used as a guide, the maximum that can be spent per meal on food is $1.34 to $1.50. A complete meal would include an entree, milk, and additional sides of fruit, vegetable, and/or grain as needed to meet the meal pattern requirements. Therefore, it is advisable for an entree to be less than $1.34 to $1.50 per serving. School nutrition programs can purchase on a larger scale compared to what the Junior Chef team can. Purchasing on a larger scale can reduce unit costs and cost per serving. The recipe review panel will take this into consideration when looking at recipes. Given all this information, please try to aim for as economical of a recipe that you can create while still meeting the nutrition requirements and appealing to student taste preferences. Food safety is another important aspect of school meal programs. Regulations require SFAs to follow sanitation and health standards established by state and local law. Regulations also require schools to obtain 2 food safety inspections per year at a minimum. SFAs must report the number of inspections obtained by their schools. States in turn report to USDA the totals, which are then reported to Congress annually. SFAs are required to implement a food safety program based on hazard analysis and critical control points, or HACCP. This includes any facility or part of a facility in which food is stored, prepared, or served. The NC Food Code requires food establishments to have a person in charge who is a certified food protection manager on site at all times the establishment is in operation. This also applies to schools. To verify the person in charge has an approved certification as specified in the Food Code, he or she must have successfully passed an American National Standards Institute or ANSI accredited exam. Our school nutrition managers complete a ServSafe or Safe Plates course and take the subsequent exam, similar to what students do in career and technical education courses. Congress reauthorized school nutrition programs in 2010 through the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act. Over 70 new provisions in the law have transformed school nutrition programs. Students across the country are now offered healthier school lunches with more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. School meals are intended to be high in nutrients and adequate in calories, consistent with the latest nutrition science. Section 201 of the Act required USDA to update nutrition standards for school meals based on the recommendations of the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. Section 208 gave USDA the authority to establish nutrition standards for all foods sold in schools, other than foods sold under the lunch and breakfast programs. Section 203 addresses the availability of potable water for students. According to the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, schools are required to offer meals meeting specific calorie ranges. Foods should not contain more than 0 grams of trans fat. Fruits and vegetables are 2 separate components. Fruit must be offered daily at lunch and breakfast. 1 cup of fruit must be offered at breakfast for all age levels. No more than 50% of the fruit offerings can be juice. Vegetables are offered daily at lunch, including specific subgroups. There are increased whole grains, and milk is either fat-free or low-fat. Additionally, the Act required schools to reduce sodium content of meals gradually. It also requires students to select a fruit or vegetable at both breakfast and lunch in order for it to be a reimbursable meal. Schools are also required to use food-based menu planning approaches and narrower age grade groups for meal planning. North Carolina schools were already well on their way to meeting the new nutrition standards, offering more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, along with low-fat and fat-free milk, based on improvements made at the state and local level. Now, let's take a look at the nutrition standards for school lunch. School nutrition programs must offer 5 items for lunch. Fruits and vegetables are separate components. Grains, meat or meat alternates, and milk are the other components. A student must take 3 of the 5 items for a reimbursable meal at lunch. Food items included in each food group and subgroup and amount equivalents are shown in the chart. Subgroups of vegetables require a certain amount each day for each age grade group. The subgroups include dark green, red-orange, legumes, starchy, other vegetables, and additional vegetables. 1/4 cup of dried fruit counts as 1/2 cup of fruit. 1 cup of leafy greens counts as 1/2 cup of vegetables. No more than half of the fruit or vegetable offerings may be in the form of juice. All juice must be 100% full strength. The minimum creditable serving is 1/8 cup for a fruit or vegetable. The number of servings of grains, meat or meat alternate, and milk are listed in the chart, along with targets for calories, saturated fat, sodium, and trans fat for lunch. The Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act provided USDA the authority to establish nutrition standards for all foods and beverages sold to students on the school campus outside school nutrition programs during the school day. This includes vending machines on school campuses, school stores, fundraisers, as well as a la carte items sold in the cafeteria at breakfast and lunch. Smart Snacks in Schools nutrition standards address these items. The Smart Snacks entree standards are used for the NC Junior Chef competition. We have been working to increase the availability of appealing, nutritious, and delicious school meals. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction School Nutrition Services worked with a team of registered dietitians and chefs to develop the NC K-12 Culinary Institute for school nutrition administrators and managers. The institute features face-to-face and online instruction, providing culinary skills, merchandising, and marketing training to improve the availability of nutritious, appealing meals at schools. Over 200 new recipes have been developed for the NC school nutrition programs, several of which have been designated as farm-to-school recipes. Most, if not all, of the recipes can include local ingredients. About 1,200 school nutrition managers have graduated as culinary specialists or chef ambassadors. They are all charged with teaching it forward at the local level and reporting back on what lessons and recipes they have implemented. Some of our NC Junior Chef teams have worked with our NC K-12 culinary ambassadors across the state. In 2017, USDA challenged each of the states in the Southeast to participate in a regional junior chef competition. School Nutrition Services reached out to Career and Technical Education, or CTE, at NCDPI and the North Carolina Department of Agriculture to create an NC Junior Chef competition. For the competition, teams of high school CTE students work with their family and consumer sciences teachers and their local school nutrition programs to create school lunch entree recipes. Our hope is that the recipes developed by the junior chef teams will be featured on school menus across the state. We are working on a cookbook and quantity recipes, including the team recipes from the first 3 years of the competition. For more information about school nutrition programs, visit the NCDPI School Nutrition website at childnutrition.ncpublicschools.gov. You can also follow us on social media at NC School Meals or Ray for NC Kids.